You don't have to go to this cinema to experience this kind of mystery and magic. Shamans could transfer their consciousness into other dreamers' dreams and influence their dreams.
Sleepwalking is an intriguing phenomenon. The fact that you're sleeping while performing physical feats is pretty amazing. How can a person be unconscious but still coordinate his or her limbs in order to walk, talk, and, sometimes, even drive? How do we know when we're really awake? Sleepwalking is also known as somnambulism, so add that to your SAT vocab. It's classified as a parasomnia, an abnormal behavior during sleep that's disruptive. Common parasomnias include bedwetting and teeth grinding. Drs. Hobson and Silvestri describe parasomnias as errors in timing and balance in the brain as it transitions between waking and sleeping, loll or snore or move around, how sometimes you wake up rested and other days you wake up anxious. It's a complex process controlled by a complex organ. There's plenty of room for glitches. Now let's take a look at some of these criteria. During the first third of the night, your body is in NREM, non-REM, your deepest stage of sleep. NREM sleep is when you tend to toss and turn in bed. Your brain quiets down, which means that you aren't dreaming. So sleepwalkers aren't acting out their dreams. Think of it this way. In NREM sleep, your brain isn't very active, but your body is. In REM sleep, your brain is very active while your body isn't. The brain is resistant to arousal during deep sleep, which explains why it's difficult to wake a sleepwalker. And if you do manage to wake one up, the sleepwalker is likely to exhibit signs of confusion for several minutes and have little to no memory of anything that happened. Sleepwalking episodes can last from a few seconds to half an hour. Sleepwalkers usually have glassy-looking eyes and blank expressions on their faces. They might look awake but act clumsy. Sleepwalkers are capable of performing a variety of activities, from simply getting up and walking around the room to driving a car or playing an instrument. Sleepwalking occurs most often in children, and more commonly in boys than in girls. Sarma Ozol's Getty Images. Sleepwalkers are most often children. Lots more people than you realize have stories about sleepwalking when they were kids. Their parents found them wandering on the front lawn, or they walked down the street in their pajamas. Kids tend to grow out of it. The adult population of sleepwalkers is much smaller. Sleepwalking also runs in families, and occurs more often in boys than in girls. So now to the million-dollar question. Why do some of us get up and walk around in the middle of the night? Should you wake a sleepwalker? The idea that you shouldn't wake a sleepwalker up is a myth, but it's probably also a bad idea to startle him or her. Sleepwalking can be dangerous. A child could fall, or an adult could get in a car and try to drive somewhere. The best idea is to gently guide the sleepwalker back to bed. Most people only have one sleepwalking episode a night, so the person is unlikely to rise again. Source: Chan. Why do people sleepwalk? Sleep stages. People used to think that sleepwalkers acted out their dreams. They also thought that sleepwalking had to do with epilepsy, hysteria, dissociative disorders, or even your own secret wishes. To be perfectly honest, no one knows exactly why people sleepwalk, but we'll talk about some possibilities. We've mentioned that sleepwalking occurs during your deepest stages of sleep, stages 3 and 4, when brainwaves are very slow. During the day, your brain is a beehive of activity. During NREM sleep it is barely humming. Your body, however, is still active, and hasn't completely quieted down for the day. So what we have here is a body that can still move, paired with a sleepy brain. Mental health professionals refer to sleepwalking as a disorder of arousal, which means that something triggers the brain into arousal from deep sleep, so the person is in a transition state between sleeping and waking. The fact that most sleepwalkers are children is significant, especially since most of them grow out of it. A child's brain develops very quickly and is primed to soak up all kinds of stimuli. Drooling babies grow into reading kindergartners in 5 years. Do you think you'll experience the same kind of brain development in the next 5 years? Some suggest that a child's brain is simply too immature to completely understand the cycles of waking and sleeping. Think of sleep as having fuzzy borders. Others propose that since children develop so quickly, perhaps some areas of the brain outpace others in development, or certain aspects of development take precedence. NREM sleep is also when your body repairs itself and releases hormones, including growth hormones. Children spend a lot of their time growing, and it's possible that the release of hormones has something to do with triggering arousal from sleep. Most adult sleepwalkers also sleepwalked as children. It rarely begins in adulthood except as a symptom of another disorder. Children tend to sleepwalk more when they are overly tired or stressed. The same factors affect adults, as well as certain medicines, alcohol, and fever illnesses. Of course, in some people, sleepwalking isn't so harmless. Sleepwalking has been linked to seizures, REM sleep disorders, and organic brain disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. If your child is sleepwalking, he or she will probably either